He was targeted by the school bully on the first day of his transfer. Everyone laughed, but only the girl on the left side of the screen did not find it funny at all. In the midst of all the mocking eyes, she knelt down to help the boy clean up the mess. She watched him leave. Annie is angry. Stop staring, what is wrong with you? People, all you do is stare at people you disapprove. UPS. What is your problem? Stop staring. You're pathetic. Annie rushed out after her. The school bully sneered and took it to heart. Before the class started, the bully deliberately pushed the book out of Annie's arms. Carl saw it and immediately came to help. After seeing that, the bully came back. When Carl didn't say anything, the bully was enraged. He pulled Carl up by his ear. Then he slapped him. He wanted to teach the newcomer a good lesson. Luckily, the teacher arrived just in time. The bully was glad to leave, but he wasn't going to let it go. At the end of the afternoon, when no one was around, he pinned Carl against the locker. Carl had a congenital heart condition. He couldn't breathe as he covered his chest. Luckily, the teacher came again. The school bully had to give up. In the face of the teacher's concern, Carl didn't want to talk, so he left in silence. Annie learns that Carl is being bullied by the bully again. She came to talk to him with apologies, but Carl said he was used to it. He told Annie not to worry. As they talked, their hearts grew closer. Annie rode home in her best friend's car. Seeing Carl's tired body, she hurriedly begged Jack to stop the car to drive him back with her. But as Carl was getting into his car, Jack drove away. You serious? Go attack Albert. No, he stole you from me. It turns out that Jack has been secretly in love with Annie. Jack was jealous of her excessive interest in Carl, but Annie says she only sees Jack as a friend. When she arrived home, she slammed the car door to express her anger. On the other hand, Carl was physically exhausted and sat down on the ground. Luckily, his teacher drove up in time to talk to him. When he learned he had a heart attack, the teacher immediately offered to drive him home. And just then, a bright figure came into Carl's view. Where are you headed? I was just coming to see if Bridger needed a ride. Okay. I apologize to you for my friend's rudeness. I told him to stop. I understand. Carl managed to sit on Annie's horse and broke into her heart once and for all. Carl's stepfather was a tyrant. He used to beat and kick him for the smallest things. Mother decided to leave the scum. His mother took him and ran away. Soon they had spent all their savings. Halfway to the car, it broke down in a fire. Desperate when an old man provided a free and used RV for the two to live in. The uncle's daughter is Annie. At the dinner table, Annie's first impression of Carl was not good. She thought he was an uneducated punk, but she didn't expect that on the first day of school. She was willing to fight against the school bully for him. Annie's face was disfigured by an accident. From then on, she had low self-esteem. She didn't think any boy would fall in love with her ugly self. Carl tentatively took her hand. Annie turned her head to look at him and shyly pursed her lips. They told each other their feelings in the hazy moonlight. Annie said she felt inferior because of the scars on her face. Carl hurriedly took off his shirt to reveal even more horrific surgical scars. She let Carl lift her hair to hide the scars. She thought she would be disgusted by him, but there was only love and compassion in Carl's eyes. He expressed his most passionate love with the most sincere kiss. The next morning, Jack came to apologize to Annie. Everything was looking up. The annoying school bully comes after Carl again. He slams the ball on him one by one. But this time Carl has determination in his eyes. Because he has a girl he wants to protect. Carl catches the next ball with precision, and then he smashes it into the bully's face. The bully was humiliated. A more sinister plan was brewing in his mind. At the graduation ceremony, Carl was breathing heavily, holding his chest. He said to Annie to go to the bathroom. The school bully saw this and rushed to follow him. Carl took off his jacket, loosened his tie. He swallowed the pills with a big breath. The bully suddenly led the way. He clenched his fist to teach Carl a lesson, but Carl threw the first punch. The bully was furious. Immediately, he had the others surround Carl. Carl had a heart attack. He fell to his knees, helpless, but the bully still wouldn't stop. He slammed Carl to the ground. Fortunately, the teacher arrived in time to fight off the bully. Carl was taken to the ambulance. The bully was pushed into a police car. At the hospital, Carl's condition was not good. The doctor said he had suffered a severe head injury and was in a coma. What's worse, the heart that was transplanted when he was a child is now starting to recoil. He could lose his life at any moment. Hearing this news, Annie couldn't stop crying. No, my dear. For a miracle, Annie never gave up on Carl. She cried and prayed for him. She kissed his cheek with affection. When she was tired of crying, she fell asleep next to him. Her classmates and teachers came to visit Carl. She could only manage a smile. As each day passed, Carl still showed no signs of waking up. Annie was so anxious. She began to read aloud to him from a book they both loved. A woman's mind leaps from adoration to admiration, from admiration to marriage. It's all in a flash. When Anne finished reading the words, Carl miraculously woke up.
Marry me.
The man had been in a coma for 3 whole months. The moment he opened his mouth, he proposed to his girlfriend. Annie couldn't believe that Carl had woken up. She giggles and kisses Carl on the lips. But then Carl says, "You haven't answered my question. Are you serious?" "I love you though. I've never been more serious in my life." "Love you too. Of course I'll marry you." When he found out that his daughter was marrying Carl, the father got up and left straight away. Annie rushed out to ask him why. "I thought you'd be happy." "I am." "Well, you're not acting like it. I couldn't ask for a better young man to marry my daughter. I just don't want to see you get hurt. He has already given me enough love to last forever. I love him death." "Please, I need your support." Kay, seeing his daughter so determined, the father had to give his full support. After being discharged from the hospital, they entered into a happy marriage. The sweet smile on their faces could not be removed. They decided to go on a trip to the beach. This was Carl's wish since he was a child. The teacher even sponsored a motorcycle. He said it was more romantic to travel on the wind. They traveled through towns and deserts and finally reached the sea. They snuggled up to each other and looked out over the ocean. The family sat on the beach watching the sunset. Fortunately, after a few months together, Annie's father and Carl's mother also confirmed their relationship. It was like being close to each other. At night they looked at each other in silence. Carl gently stroked Annie's scars. It was the most beautiful mark he had ever seen. "I just love you so much." The next day Carl woke up early. He looked at Annie, who was still asleep. Then he got up and went to the beach, soaking up the bright sunshine, feeling the sea breeze, the sound of waves and seagulls in his ears. It was quiet and beautiful. He sat curled up on the ground and felt the sea sand slipping through his fingers, like a life that keeps passing away. Annie woke up and walked to Carl's side. She called his name softly, but he wasn't breathing. Annie cried out in anxiety. Her father came to the rescue, but nothing could be done. Annie lay with her face next to Carl's and felt the last of his warmth. He used the brief encounter to create a beautiful memory for Annie. The small, unrepeatable events become Anne's eternal memories. It's a good thing the film is not so heartless. It is many years later when the scene changes. A family is gathered around a child. This is a testament to their love. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.